What's up, buddy?
Tommy or Tom, what's
What's
going
going
on?
What's going on, dude? How you doing?
Good. Thanks for meeting up.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, dude. I thanks for asking me.
Worcester legend. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, we're doing it, man.
And actually, I was like, how do I even know Tom?
Oh,
Do we even know
we
each
go
other?
way. We don't we go way back?
Yeah,
Like,
but I don't know from where.
I don't either. Parties, I think. Lewis, right? Isn't he your buddy?
Yeah, Louis Lou. Okay, so
Yeah.
it goes back. I'm staying on brand because it's way over 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Way over 20 years. Yeah. Yeah,
I
like high
was just
school.
assuming. Yeah, okay, cool. That's what the show's
Yeah.
about, and
Yeah.
I felt like I might have known you later too because Facebook, Instagram, you just see people who post like yourself and do,
Yeah.
comedy video. So you're like, oh, I kind of know this person, but I really don't because it's been a long time. So thanks for reconnecting.
Yeah, dude, I feel the same thing. I saw your podcast stuff and I was like, I definitely know this dude, but I think it was like high school parties, like high school college parties on like Vernon Hill, right?
Yeah, maybe you even came to me and Lewis's apartment at some point.
Were you guys right on Vernon Hill?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure did. Yeah, I was at your apartment for sure.
nice.
Because I was friends with like
So,
Tara Hannon and like Vicky Hodgerney and like that whole crew.
yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, that.
Yeah,
Oh, did you go to Fit and Field with us to Hootie and the Blowfish by any chance?
I did. I was with that group. I was with the Hootie crew. I don't know if I was with you guys though. I was there and I bumped into them. So you must have been with them. Yeah.
Man, all I remember from that night is Dragonberry. I don't even know what the brand of vodka it is. Remember
Probably
they were like coming out with like
Barnett's or something.
some type of fruity vodka and Gatorade and just
Yeah.
like at a Hootie and the Blowfish concert with like families around at like 4 p.m. Pretty hammered, but Hootie rocks.
That was,
So I was all in.
that was how we lived, man.
I'm not scared to share this story, but like that night we were driving to the concert and we were doing like I did a shot before we walked in because we were in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And you know when you hit a shot too and it goes down the wrong pipe and you like gotta like cough. Well,
Yeah.
I thought the window was down, so I did the rip the shot and I went "Plah!" And it just like splashed all over the window and I was like, "Who rolled the window up?" As I was like choking.
Yeah, that tracks.
So fill me in on the 30-year gap here. You graduated
Oh
high
man.
school. Were you doing comedy in film at
No.
that time, or did you develop this later?
No. Yeah, so I played
Cheers.
I played football and lacrosse at St. Peter's. Oh yeah, there we go. Sure. And then went to Worcester State. I played football at Worcester State. Um after after college is when I started acting. So I went down to New York for a couple of years. I joined the Screen Actors Guild in 2006. So while I was still in college, but yeah, joined the Screen Actors Guild in 2006. Got into a couple movies, had some like cool experiences and roles in those movies, and then around COVID-ish time, I started making my own projects and doing my own stuff. But yeah, and I've been doing comedy kind of all the way through college since I was probably like 18 or 19. I've been doing stand up and I've done stand up everywhere, man, for a long time. I kind of stopped doing that over the past couple of years, but yeah, dude, I've been all over the place doing stuff.
So right when it got super popular online, you were like, I'm not doing it anymore.
Too easy. Yeah, it's too easy. No, you know what it was, man? I had kids and having kids makes really succeeding in stand up tough because you got to be traveling around and never really home at night. And then when COVID hit, like you had to do all those like Zoom comedy shows and those sucked. And like it just was like a multitude of things. I'll still do it if it's like a benefit or a good cause, or if like a bunch of good people are on a show and they want me to go on, I'll do it. But I've like kind of stopped pursuing it as like a full-time type thing, you know?
Yeah. So you were doing it full time at one point?
I mean, I was doing it a lot. I was doing it every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kind of all over the place. I wouldn't say I was doing that just that, but I was doing it pretty aggressively for a while. Yeah.
So at what point when you graduated high school and you're in college were you like, I'm gonna give a comedy a shot? Like how were you coming up with the jokes, or was it like at parties and you said, I'm gonna take it to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like that's always been kind of my role in the group is like I've always been a wise guy. Like I've been a wise ass my whole life, but I think that like what my first show actually, this is funny. So I was a stagehand at the DCU Center when I turned 18. I started stagehanding, and I'd always carry a notebook and like write funny, but pre iPhone, you know, I had a notebook in my pocket, and I'd always write down like funny ideas and thoughts. And this other stagehand, this guy Robert Williams, was like, dude, you're always talking about comedy, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah. He's like, I got you a show Friday night at Vincent's, and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're opening for like this blues guitarist. He's like, you got to do like 15 minutes of stand up, and I was like, dude, I don't have anything. He's like, well, you got a whole notebook, so figure it out. And so I did that show, and was horrible. Like I was terrible. Like didn't know what I was doing. But from that, uh, I think that the guys from the Flock of Assholes kind of heard about me, and so then they asked me to come down to the Lucky Dog. So I guess I did good enough to get another show. So I did like 15 minutes at the Lucky Dog, and then I started opening for the Flock of Assholes doing stand up. So I do that once in a while. I just kind of kept trying to like get better every time and progressed on the, you know, how you were doing. And from there, I think my real like actual first comedy show was at Frank Foley's Comedy Safari when it was behind the DCU Center in the Fifth Amendment. You remember Fifth Amendment? And
Yep.
I did like a showcase there, and I did pretty well. And I actually met who became a longtime friend of mine and sort of writing partner, this guy Orlando Baxter, who's another Worcester comedian. And he was like, "Hey, dude, like you're pretty funny, but like you're kind of like unpolished, and here's how you kind of like shape stuff." And he really helped me. And yeah, then it kind of just went from there. And you know, you fall in with a group of guys, and you just start doing it, and before you know it, you're getting up there a lot. You know.
Crazy. How does a set work? Do you have
Yeah.
like your basic set and then do you try to work in something new in between the, or are
Yeah.
you trying, like if you do Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, for me now it's different, right? When I started, I was very like formulaic with like, here's my opening joke. I'm going to do these three things, then I'm going to do this thing, and then I hopefully get like a big laugh at the end. And I was only doing sets of like 5, 10 minutes here and there. Then I started this guy, his name was Mike Cronin out of Rhode Island. He had a thing called Meatball Comedy Stop, and they did some shows in Worcester too. And he started having me feature for him. So that's like 30 minutes. And I wasn't ready for it, but again, I kind of like got thrown into it. So I started featuring, and I had to be like I had like paper up there with me because I couldn't remember what I was doing. And he came up to me one time and he's like, dude, you got to just like relax and like know that you got it, and like kind of helped me break through with what I do. But when I started headlining and doing like the 30 minutes to an hour plus or whatever, I became much more fluid. Like where I'm at now, I have stuff that I know works. I just get up there and I just I just have fun, man. So like I get up there and I do some shit, and if it's going good, I stick with it. If not, I kind of pivot to another thing and play with the crowd, get people laughing. And so like it's much different now than it was before. Before it was like very formulaic. Like I have to tell this joke at this time, and then I'm going to be 5 minutes in, and then this joke I'll be, you know, 12 minutes in, and then they'll give me the light and I'll be done. Now it's like, you know, the past say 8 years, 10 years, I got up there. I was just getting up there and having fun and just doing whatever made me feel good.
Yeah, it seems like comedy would make you feel good if you could get up there and actually do, even just land one.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It makes you, dude, comedy's like the best and worst thing of all time, right? Because you have nights where you kill and you're like, I'm the funniest fucking person alive. Like everybody loves me. And then you have nights where you get up there and nothing works. And you're like, what is going on? I gave these guys everything I had and nobody thought I was funny at all. And like, and then like a lot of times too, like you're not doing it in your backyard. Like you're going to drive home from like Rhode Island or New York or Maine, and you're driving home for like 2 hours going like, what am I doing? Am I horrible? Like, do I suck? And like, it's one of those things where you just got to know yourself well enough and like be comfortable enough with yourself where you go like, it just didn't work tonight, but like I'm gonna get back up there tomorrow night and it will work, you know. And you just got to know that, or else it'll eat you alive. It's brutal, dude.
Yeah, I can imagine like what would work in Worcester probably wouldn't work in Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, and like so Orlando had a funny thing, right? He did the Edinburgh Fringe Fest in Scotland, and he had a bit that like killed always, but it was about the trunk of a car, and he was doing it in England, I'm in Scotland, and nobody was laughing. And he didn't understand why. And finally, someone come up to him. And they're like, "We don't know what a trunk is." They're like, "What's a trunk?" And they all call it a boot over there. So he's like, "Oh!" And then he started changing the joke to like adapt to over there, and then it started working again. And so like, yeah, like Worcester funny. Worcester's easy because like we both grew up here. We can I can do an hour plus on Worcester just off the top of my head, just making fun of Worcester, and you'll get a ton of laughs, right? Like you go up to Lewiston, Maine or Bangor, Maine, and it's like they don't know Worcester. So now you got to figure out like what's funny about the room you're in, what's funny about the people, how do you adapt. Like a lot of my stuff is real stories, like you were talking about, you know, driving to the hootie and spitting on the window. Like a lot of my stuff is stuff that I've really done or really happened to me, but it's like, how do I make Worcester State funny in Bangor, Maine when they don't know what Worcester State is? So you got to explain it a little bit more in the setup, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is pre AI, so you can't even like research too much beforehand.
No, you just got to show up. And like a lot of what I did was like observational about the room I'm in. I usually make fun of myself a little bit at first so that they understand that like I'm not a complete dick, because I do go in a lot on like other stuff too. But yeah, you got to show up in the room and look around. And like I remember I did a show way up in Maine that was in like a rod and gun club, and I was like surrounded by dead, like giant dead animals, and I was like, and I just walked up there and started making fun of that, you know what I mean? Like, or saying like, you know, I don't want to say too much to you guys, you're all got fucking guns on you, so like, you know, I better not pick on you too much, and then they all kind of laugh at that, but like, yeah, it's a lot of just like on the fly, what can you find that's funny that relates to them, that gets them to relate to you? Then you can kind of go to your standard material, but because they already go like, oh, this guy gets us. You know what I mean?
Interesting. How
Yeah.
does filmmaking or making videos work into that? Was it like an offshoot of comedy where YouTube started getting popular and you were like, oh, we should put videos out?
I mean, no, I think it's almost opposite. Like I always wanted to be like a filmmaker, an actor, more of a serious person. I'm just not. Like I'm just that's just not who I am. It's who I would like to be. Um so I started in 2006. I started with the goal kind of being to be a serious kind of like dramatic actor, and I got some parts, but like I was filling in the meantime with comedy. And when I started making my own stuff, uh I started with a TV pilot called Hollywood. I'm rocking the show. I got to get you one of these. I'll send you one. But I started with a
Please.
TV pilot called Hollywood, which was a comedy with Orlando. I wrote the thing, and then I brought him in and we kind of co-wrote the pilot together off the idea that I had. Um, and then I was like, let's make this, you know, and it was a dark comedy, and it did pretty well in the festival circuit. And from that, it kind of just started, you know, moving forward. Once you kind of have a thing that has a festival run and does pretty well, it's kind of like, well, what's your next project? And you're like, shit, I better come up with something, something next, you know?
Is that what you were putting your stuff in festivals, or is that how
Yeah.
it goes?
So,
Like you have to sign up for them and they could get screened in front of a
yeah.
good audience?
Yeah. So, you know, the festival thing, I've done that now with like 4 films that I've directed. You submit to festivals, and hopefully, you know, you get accepted to a few of them, and it screens and they have awards. And a lot of these awards behind me are from different festivals that I've won on different projects. Um, but yeah, and then, you know, it's almost like comedy or wrestling or whatever. You start in a circuit, you hopefully work your way up to like bigger festivals and more prestigious festivals, and hopefully start getting accepted and then winning awards and moving your way up. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past, 6 or 7 years now.
It's- That's awesome.
Yeah,
What else you got
it's
going on?
interesting, man.
Any golfing, or what inspires you to do the films? What, like, you
Yeah, I
boxing?
read. Yeah, so I did Thai kickboxing for a bunch of years in Worcester. I boxed for a long time. Those have always been two passions of mine. I love that stuff. That's not really stuff that I write about, but it is something that I do to stay physically fit and competitive and centered, right? Um, but I read a ton, Rich. So like I try to read 50 books a year. I don't always get there, but a lot of my inspiration comes from reading, comes from watching movies. Like I'm a big cinephile. I love watching film. I love watching old movies. I love seeing new stuff. So um, my inspiration comes from the world around me, literature, art. I can get inspired by music. I listen to a ton of music when I write all the time to help me get through it. So I get inspired by that. I do golf too. Like I suck. I suck. That's not something that I would brag about on a podcast, but I golf once in a while. And then just being a dad, I think takes up a lot of my free time too. I have two small girls that I try and do as much as I can to teach them, not only like kid stuff, but teach them the entrepreneurial mindset of like, hey, it's important to go after what you want and not get boxed into the day-to-day bullshit that a lot of people do, because you're going to end up undervalued and depressed. And I think we've all been there. And it's not a place that I aspire to stay at.
As most creatives, they probably are told throughout their whole career as a student not to doodle, not to drift, not to bring your
Dude,
mind elsewhere. Stay focused on the math, and you're just like antsy.
100%. You're told that you're not a good student, you're not smart, whatever it is. Like, don't listen to that. Like that, like emphatically don't listen to that. I say this a lot in podcasts. Like I've been told for so many years that like you're stupid. You don't understand math or science. And it's like, it's not that I don't understand that, but what I was doing was I was writing like a 130-page novel about Vietnam when I was in math class. Like that's what I was doing. I was writing nonstop. I had stories about bands, stories about wars. Like that's what I did. And dude, this is a good story that I wrote in an article for an interview, but I've never told it. So when I was in first grade, I went to Our Lady of the Angels, right, in Webster Square, Catholic school, and we had an assignment in first grade to draw God, right? And everybody in my class drew God. They drew like a wizard or like a guy with a big beard and a staff. And I drew a red box and like colored in the red box in first grade, right? And teacher got all the assignments and held mine up in front of the room and called me up to the front of the class to like make fun of me. And she was like, "What was the assignment, Tom?" And I was like, "Well, you said to draw God." And she's like, "Yeah, you drew a red square." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I think God looks like." And she was like, "This isn't what God looks like." And I was like, "How do you know?" And I got called down to the principal's office. My parents had to come into school because I was being like a insubordinate wise ass. And it's like, I wasn't even trying to, but like, I still fucking hope when she dies, God's a red box. But it's like, that should be something that's appreciated about kids, is like, I think we take all their creativity out of them at a young age where it's like, that's stupid. Don't do that. You're thinking dumb. And then like you make them into a factory worker, right? Like, it's like everyone.
Yeah, and that's stuck with you for the rest of your life because you're like
It still bothers me.
that.
It still bothers me.
Yeah, because you were making an innocent claim, and all of a sudden you're labeled as a defiant
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like for being artistic or for thinking differently. Like, I hope my kids are always the ones drawing the red box. And I hope I get called to the principal's office and I'll still fucking tell them off. You know what I mean?
We could definitely get into that. My mom has had many visits because I went to Catholic school too.
Yeah.
Uh, I had a third grade teacher, Sister Dulcissima, rest in peace. I thought she was old when I was in third grade, but apparently she was only like 70 and she lived to be like 110 because
Yeah.
she recently passed. And I was like, I thought, what? She was still alive. I
Isn't
was
that
like,
crazy?
but she was, yeah. And she was a tough third grade teacher. Like,
Yeah.
I was in the hot seat all the time and principal's office a lot. Like I was writing my name on the brick wall with a piece of like rock, like chalk, and I was
Yeah.
gonna write Rich, and I had the P of the R done, and of
Yeah.
course the principal was right behind me. She grabbed my hand, brought me to the office, called my mom in from work, and was like, "The punishment must fit the crime." And she's like, "Oh my God, what did he do? He was gonna write a swear word." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I was writing my name." And she was like, "He was gonna write a swear word. It was a P." And I was like, "Well, that's like the start of an R." I didn't even know a swear word in sixth grade, you know? My fourth grade teacher would call me Doodle Boy, like in front of everybody. I was kind of embarrassed about it because
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
had doodles in it. But
Yeah.
I was
Because you're
doodling
thinking.
because, yeah, I was just like trying not to think about what she was probably saying. And I was like, I'm going to doodle away. So,
100%. You're creating. You're making art, right? And like, dude, I don't know. I encourage it. I love it. I love when my daughters are like, "Oh, check out this thing I made." I'm like, "That's the coolest." My oldest daughter, when she was in kindergarten, their final project, they all had to do like what they want to be when they grow up. And the thing that made me the most proud is she said, "I want to be an entrepreneur like my parents." I was like, "Yo, that's super cool." And she just had a project that she had to do where they I was like, "Let's go." Like, I love that. And she was like, "The teacher kept taking pictures of me and like laughing." I was like, "Yeah, it's because you're fucking cool." I was like, "That's because you're cool."
yeah, that reminds me of a book report I did on Captain Cook.
Mm.
Was he a pirate?
See what I mean? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a privateer. Yeah.
Kids are interesting now. It's amazing because they have a lot of information and they're so smart.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to see. Yeah, what my when my kids come up with stuff, I'm just like scratching my head, thinking like, how did you even think of that?
Where'd you get that?
But maybe it's always
Yeah.
been like
Yeah.
that.
Probably.
I'm
I
sure
think
our
my parents were
parents or
scratching their
oldest
head a
siblings are
lot.
like, oh yeah, for sure.
I know my parents were scratching their head a lot at stuff that I was coming up with. I saw a meme the other day that I think you'd appreciate. It was like my kid said to me, "You couldn't write a book report without using ChatGPT." And I said, "I used to write a book report without reading the book."
Oh yeah, and we had the freedom to like go explore and get bored. So the stuff we would come up with is pretty wild.
It's wild. Yeah, exactly. Even just the
It's
freedom that
like
we were talking
imagine.
about of like, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, imagine going to a party now. Like you couldn't even bug out because you could be scared that you're gonna get filmed.
Dude, that's what I was just gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say, like, even what we were talking about, like the freedom to just like show up in a random apartment and like chill with people that like we don't really know each other, but we've been at 20 parties together because we just like both pull up to the same place and like start handing beers out to each other and like you know what I mean? Like that's not a I don't think that
Yeah, and parties were always like a catalyst to do something creative the next day. It depends if you had to work or not, but like get up early, all inspired about because of the party last night, and you're like, oh, we're gonna make some music, we're gonna write some comedy, let's write a video, let's be entrepreneurs and try to figure out how to stop waiting tables, or Not that there's anything wrong with waiting tables. Yeah. I mean, you do it for a while and you're like, okay, there's got to be something else to do. Like,
I think you are. Like, I get in trouble everywhere I go that's not doing something creative. So I got to figure out, I got to figure out my own lane.
my thing is I'm always chasing like an outlet of creativity. So if it's something new I haven't tried yet, for instance, comedy, there's a part of
Yeah,
me that's like, it's such a creative expression and it's challenging, but that's kind of the fun of learning how to do something for me anyways. Like
for
sometimes
sure.
I'll go all in on something, learn how to do it, set it all up, do it for a little bit, and then it's like, all right, what's something else I can learn and chase? Because I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna drop a rap album when I turn 40. I'm gonna this podcast was kind of a practice in oh, I need to put out more content. What's a way that I can manage this with a
I love it.
family and a job? And then I'm
Yeah, I
like, oh,
love
I
it.
should do a podcast. So I was like, oh, now I need to come up with a podcast. Oh, I need to learn how to film it and edit it, you know? But this is a
100%.
project actually that I've kept going because it's like super fun and, you know, you film and you catch up with people. There's nothing like, I love doing it. I feel like I could do it for a long time. Just keep the guests coming and keep it
I think
going.
you're good at it, dude. I like it. I like what you do. I like watching it. I think it's poignant. I think you have some super interesting people come on. But yeah, I'm the same way. Do you have ADHD?
I've been diagnosed. I never took my mom wouldn't let me take the medication, but I'm guessing yeah.
Yeah, because so I got
Maybe.
diagnosed as like and I got diagnosed as an adult, and I've also never taken the medication. But it just reminds me so much of like what you said is so much how I am. Like my wife Carrie will like come downstairs. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm learning how to do card tricks now." She's like, "Why are you learning how to?" I'm like, "I don't know. I want to do card tricks now." So like, I'll go all in and learn like 50 card tricks, and then I get bored with them once I know how to do them. Then I'm like, "Now I'm going to play guitar." She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm figuring out how to play guitar." She's like, "Why are you playing guitar now?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just want to play guitar for a little bit." You know, I'm always on to like, what's the next thing. I think like your podcast is my like reading. Like I've kept that up pretty consistently, but like I switch genres all the time. It's like now I'm reading horror books, now I'm reading biographies, now I'm reading poetry. You know what I mean? But I'm always chasing that sort of unique outlet too. And when people ask me a lot of times when I'm doing stuff like this or like an interview, they'll say like, what's your favorite thing? Do you like to write? Do you like to direct? Do you like to act? And it's like, no, I like to create. Like I don't care if it's painting or writing or acting. Like they're all different forms of creating, and that's what I like to do. I don't care if I'm making a podcast or if I'm making a sculpture. You know what I mean? I just like to be always challenging and learning and like figuring out the next sort of outlet of creativity.
Maybe I'm a psycho, but it's like the worse I am at something, the kind of more I enjoy it. It's like a
For
weird.
sure. Yeah, for
I'm like,
sure.
why do I
And then
love
when
this
I
so
get good
much and
at
I'm
it,
so bad at it?
dude, and then when I get good at it, I usually quit and start something else. Like I'll get really good at card tricks and I'm like, I don't want to do card tricks anymore.
Do you ever get like nostalgia with like and read old books that you've read a long time ago, or
I
watch like movies and repeat because it brings you back to a certain time in your
so
life?
I do and I don't with books. I like to reread like classics a lot. So like I've read like Don Quixote like 15 times because like I love that book. I'm more so with movies. I have like sentimental connections to movies because I think it's like I was an only child and like we had one TV and we could only watch like what my dad had on. Um, but when he didn't, I would
Matlock,
watch.
Naked in the
My
Night.
dad was like a
Sorry, I'm cutting you
dude.
off.
That's my grandmother. My dad was like a savage. He watched like Platoon and like Apocalypse Now and like so I was like I joke around. I was only like second grader that was like worried about like Scud missiles from Saddam Hussein. Like I was like, we're gonna get scudded by the Kurds. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like watching CNN all day. But
Pulp
uh
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, like, yeah, I watched Top Gun when I was like 3. I have pictures of me like dressed like Top Gun Maverick when I was literally like 2 or 3 years old. There's no way I should have watched that, but that's something that I've watched. I can do the entire movie. If you're like, do Top Gun starting now, I could just do Top Gun. And like that Tombstone, those type of movies, man, like when those are on, I have to watch them. Like I can't not watch them. Um, so yeah, I'm more sentimental with movies. I feel like I feel like I really from a young age, I really like identified and connected myself to actors and movies and roles.
For me, it's the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like have to watch it yearly.
So good, so good. My daughters get mad at me because every sequel to everything I call Secret of the Ooze, and they're like, it's not Secret of the Ooze. They get pissed at me.
But you don't understand. It's like sucks because it's the sequel, and I do like Secret of the Ooze just because of the nostalgia factor. Like the third one, the worst.
No, I don't
It's
even,
like
yeah,
not
don't even
watchable.
want to, yeah, don't even talk to me about it. I did have those action figures though. I think I had the action figures where they were like samurais or something, right?
I did too. They were probably discounted.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the third,
yeah,
yeah,
because
the
nobody
third.
wanted them.
Yep. Every Christmas, I'm like, why did I get another episode 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figurine?
Yeah, it's like a side character. It's not like one of the main guys.
My kids still play with Super Shredder because
Oh
I my
yeah,
mom saved like all my like a bag, the Ninja Turtles bag in the back here. My mom saved it. It was full of like McDonald's toys and Ninja Turtles.
yes. So my parents
Oh, and
recently
toys.
moved. What else?
No, just toys from my brother's uh
Oh yeah,
childhood too. She's just like saving these toys like Transformers and stuff. But what were you saying?
my parents. Well, no, my parents just moved, and behind me I have like boxes of the same thing. They were like, here's all your Ninja Turtles, here's all your wrestling figures, here's all your like dude, I
You were
got
like
I got
my
like
only friends
Shawn Michaels from the
because you
Rockers,
because
like
you because you were single because you were a only child.
those are my yeah, those are my only friends, man. Yeah, that my imagination, you know.
That's what happened. You're like, I gotta invent these worlds.
Dude, literally, like no joke. I that's why I connected so much with movies too. I would just like immerse myself into I'm fucking Maverick in Top Gun. And like I would think as like a little kid, I would think that other people would think I was Maverick. You know what I mean? Like I put that jacket on and we'd be like at the bank and I'd be like, everyone in here thinks I'm a Navy fighter pilot, like for sure. Like fully convinced, like not even joking around. I thought that that's what I would look like, you know?
Do you like historical docs? Like, are you a history buff?
Oh yeah, I love history. Big history guy.
Did you see the Turning Point, the Vietnam doc on Netflix?
Oh, dude, yeah, so good, so good. I
Oh, I was like, I want to rewatch it. Actually, it's I watched it when it first came out, and I was like, this is the most beautifully done doc ever. I was like obsessed with
dude,
it.
it's so good that it like because that was another kind of like micro obsession I had as I was growing up was like the Vietnam War, and that documentary was like so powerful that like I reached out to a couple of guys that I know that were like Vietnam vets and I had to like talk to them. I was like, can you like what was it like? What was your experience like? Like, do you mind talking to me about what happened? Like I needed some sort of like personal connection to it. You know what I mean? It was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I bet everyone has a different like. They were in a different location. There was different things going
Yeah,
on. You
different
know,
era, like different parts of the different times. Like
the
I talked to a
beginning. Yeah.
guy. Yeah, I talked to a guy that he's in one of my films actually. He's in two of my projects, and his name's Tom Brogan, and he's working on a project about his life kind of right now. But he did two tours in Vietnam, and he did one early on, and he said it was like full jungle and like crazy. That then he went back and like I don't know 68 or something, and he said like the entire jungle was burned down. There was like an apocalyptic post-apocalyptic world. There was like no vegetation left, and uh he said the craziest part, which has stuck with him for his whole life and kind of formed how he's lived the rest of his life, was he went back the second time and he said he was like mind blown by the orphanages in Vietnam that were full of little American kids, and they had really no home because the mother got rid of them because they looked American and they would get killed or you know isolated from their own people, and then the American dad didn't know that he had a kid, so the kids were kind of just like left. There's like a whole generation of kids that were kind of left with no home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I it does war doesn't make sense to me. Like I get it,
No.
kind of,
Yeah.
but it
I
just
don't
like
think I
maybe I'm
don't
not
think I do.
intellectual enough.
Yeah.
Like it would be good if aliens came and kind of like checked us and then just left. And then maybe we would all be like, oh crap, we should probably just work together.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah. I think that it's like for me, the craziest thing is like I don't know. I don't know, man. I have a real hard time like not seeing how you can't find commonalities with anybody, right? Hostile, not hostile, different country, different beliefs. Like there's always sort of something like I don't know. I have friends that are of every sort of race and denomination and thought process, and uh I always seem to find a common interest or thing that I'm like, oh, this dude's actually like a pretty good guy. Like he likes this thing, or you know what I mean? Um,
I wonder if like
that's
because the
it's hard.
information era where you were able to consume information in a different way. Yeah, we weren't like manipulated by people as easily because
Yeah,
we could make
you can look your stuff up.
but
Yeah,
there was books and publications. Yeah, it's tough to it'd be weird to go back in time.
yeah. What year? When would you go back to?
Definitely not like 1650. And not before then. I would think like 18 no, 1901
Oh, okay. So you're
in
going
Italy.
between this. Oh, you would go to Italy, 1901 Italy.
Yeah, I think
Why?
so. Olive oil on the trees, like a Mediterranean climate. Like walking, having to tend your garden and then like walk up hills or down hills to go to the ocean. I've never even been to Italy, so
But it sounds nice.
yeah. But if I was like to pick a place to go present day and just like it'd probably be Vietnam.
Like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Thailand. I mean,
Why?
I've got like a healthcare scare. Like I would healthcare obviously is important to, like as we get older. So I might
Yeah.
be a little afraid to go to Vietnam. I don't know if like a specialty doctor would be I'm sure there are, but I know Thailand is set up more for that.
It's
But
actually
I
like
also
yeah.
what?
No, I was just gonna say it's actually like really. I think it's like really advanced. Like Thailand it has like some great medical facilities.
That's why I think it would be the pick with the three kids over Vietnam.
Yeah.
But Vietnam's so affordable and beautiful, and the people are so great. It's such a good country. Yeah. Yeah, I'm the oddball who could I could eat that food every day. Like I could have a soup for breakfast and like spicy food. It's just like I wouldn't get sick of it, honestly. That's the Polish in me. I want like borscht for breakfast with like rye bread and butter. And oh, let's be what's it called? Oh, Guinness too, right? I'm gonna throw a couple movies out there, some of my favorites, and people kind of hit back at me on this one. There Will Be Blood is like one of my top five. That it's boring and it's like they don't like it. I'm like, well, I'm like, enjoy the pace. Like it's that's the beauty of it. Could be. Yeah, I was having this argument the other day about it, and they're like, I'm like trying to get people to watch it, and they're like, I tried to, it was so boring. I got a weird one that is in my top 10. Surf Ninjas. Yeah, I think so. Because I had it on VHS, like recorded off of like TV, and it would just be on repeat all the time. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. People are like, what's Surf Ninjas? I don't know. I feel like it's not as a known title. I think if you had Game Gear, you knew what it was because he plays the Game Gear in it and controls the narrative with it. Yeah. Ooh, Nostru. How do you say it? Nosturefo. That was a crazy horror flick. I loved it. It's a remake. There's a new Frankenstein out I haven't seen yet. I think that's on Netflix too. Del Toro, uh, Guillermo del Toro is the director, I think. What are some of your? Oh, yeah, it was just I don't like Top Gun. Isn't that funny? I don't know. It's now I'm saying it. I feel like it's boring. I try to watch it. I can never watch it. Even though they're PG. You want to be gay? Can you? Yeah. Hey, I was a dancer. I'm not against. Yeah. Yeah, they're like these new ones are absurd. They're absurd. Well, isn't the whole Star Wars journey absurd if you really think about it? Yeah, the premise is kind of absurd. They just took it too far maybe on the last one. I, you know. Yeah, me too. Except for some reason I'm stubborn on the Top Gun. I'm just stubborn on it. Yeah. Um I had to look to see my movies. I like keep my Blu-rays that I like. Like I love sci-fi, so like District 9 for me is a top one. Have you seen that? Oh, it looks I saw Project Hail Mary is the big one. I read the book first. Project X Z was it's not a zombie film, is it? No. What's a favorite comedy? Is it like Arrested Development? Yeah, a show. It could be a show or a movie. I could see that. Only he could pull that off, though. Even in This Is the End, he plays that character so well. Oh, yeah, I've seen it multiple times. It's wild. Oh, Tropic Thunder. When I see movies like Fistfoot Way, I get inspired. Or like It's Always Sunny. I'm like, damn, I feel like it's challenging, but I was like, we should make a pilot. I always tell my wife, I was like, can I just like film us in the kitchen making dinner and like you're in like a stained shirt and sweatpants and I'm like in my underwear with my belly hanging out and we'll just like won't get the kids in it, but we'll just get the vibe of it and see if I can cut it into something. Yeah, she's not for it. I do have like this idea for a show. It's kind of like Perfect Strangers, but it's me and I get divorced and I have to move in with my friend who is a cross dresser. Like he does like drag shows, but he also gets divorced, so we get divorced at the same time, and we end up just moving in together above a gay bar. And it's like the challenges of dating, and there's always tension, like where I'm like, does he think I'm gonna like change to go to that side? And like, I've got a couple like scenes scripted out, but I'm like, I don't know if I can pull this off. Yeah, the cross dressing. He's Yeah, that was a show I like had to watch when I was younger. I was like, "Oh, Perfect Strangers is on." I don't know why. Laverne and Shirley, then Perfect Strangers. Yeah, Alf was good. Yeah, I tried to watch it recently too. Didn't hit the way I don't remember. the The Wonder Years always hit for me. But that's that Vietnam era. That's the music of it. It just always like hit my soul. I remember just staying up all night, Nick at night, pretending to be sleeping but watching it on my TV, and like I remember crying on the last episode. Something about the music too, like it always like get, brings you to like some yeah. Yeah, my kids like it too. I feel like we do the same thing. We I try to like put on something that I kind of wouldn't mind watching. 5, 4 and 10 months. If you're okay with one F bomb and a couple shits, I let them watch Spaceballs. The next one I want to do is and I don't think I'm gonna till they're older because I was thinking Austin Powers. Yeah, and I'm like, are they gonna be like freaked out at like Fat Bastard and Gold Member? I was like, maybe I gotta chill it out on the PG-13 movies. They're only 5. My wife's like, what the hell are you doing, letting them watch that? We had to cut off The Simpsons. We were doing The Simpsons every like once a night, and then after like a week, I was like, my wife's like, you can't play The Simpsons anymore, and they're like, put The Simpsons on, The Simpsons, and I'm like, Homer's like choking Bart. He's like, why is he choking him? And they're like drinking and getting drunk and like, yeah. Oh, and Bart's being fresh and they're like laughing and getting it. And I'm like, this could be bad. Step Brothers. That's like unrated, too much. I mean, we were. I could see it. Yeah. Is that when he's like, my plums? I like watch those scenes on YouTube when it's like the cutaway, the when other people are breaking because they're doing like improv. Oh, did you ever do improv classes? Yeah, I've got to taken some improv classes, and one thing I took away from it was, wow, when someone's good at improv, they're just good at it. Like it's hard to learn. I feel like. Give me some advice if I was to write my first comedic set. Would I should I just pull from my life and start there? Yeah. Well, I have my opener, but I don't have what comes after that. So I've saved all my referrals from high school, like all my write ups, because they're hilarious. So I was just gonna open up with like, yeah, I'm gonna just read some of these referrals I got in high school, and like they tell a story. Some of them are like paragraphs long, so it kind of just like that's the opener. You know, I could just read those, and I think people would think they were funny. Maybe not. I don't know. So I can't just stand in my basement and be like, can I do like a basement comic set and just put it on YouTube? With can I put like a keyboard with like sound effects and like crowd noise? Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Done. Have you seen my YouTube? Yeah, my YouTube is just an external hard drive of work. Like there's no F's giving when I hit publish. Like if I made it, it gets published. So there's some really weird stuff in there. Because when you have zero subscribers, like I did for so long, it was like an external hard drive. I was like, I'm not buying an external hard drive. I'm just gonna put it on YouTube. Yep. And then one day you realize, oh shit, this is all like live in the world. What are you gonna do? Yeah. Who watched Allergic to Cubicles 300 times? I think that's why I do it. Yeah, that was like the moniker for a while with like when I first started learning how to edit film or even like take, do projects. It was more like earlier we were talking about a practice in being bad because I knew I didn't know how to use a camera. I was just hitting auto play and like directing people to do stuff and then editing it to in whatever way I could. But yeah, I'm in my basement. Um and I just refurbished my Nintendo, my original Nintendo, so I'm still playing Nintendo, so I'm an adult. I replaced the 88 pin connector that the video games slide into. They get corroded and dirty, and then I cleaned all the connections on all the games, so now it just like works instantly basically. Hmm. Mike Tyson's Punch Out's up there. Um the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but there's a difficulty factor there. I never beat it. They do on YouTube. They do. And I watch them and I'm like, I'm going to try to beat it. Once I get to the nighttime, it's over. It's so hard. No, people like do speed runs of it. Most of the games I can't really beat. Yeah, most Yeah, I actually I'm playing the new Contra on Xbox. I'm not a huge gamer. I literally bought an Xbox like a year ago. And I it just kind of sat and collected dust until I realized you could buy like Contra a new Contra game, and that's kind of got me back into the gaming because it was super fun. It's just like the original. Yeah, it's awesome. It's super difficult, but it's like long levels. It's like the old game, but with new graphics and bosses, and it's just fun. Yeah, my son loves it. That's like his favorite one. That and Mario. Yeah, Zelda's probably my favorite Nintendo game ever. That's probably the one I've played the most over and over and over again. Even Zelda 2, I love. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't like about new games is how involved you have to be. Like, I feel like it's a full time job. Like, if you want to play Red Dead Redemption, I'm like, I don't have enough time in my lifetime to do this. Yeah. Yeah, and if you have ADHD, what do you end up doing? Just running into mindless fields trying to catch bugs, and then for an hour goes by and you're like, wow, I didn't even do any objective to move progress in the game. And now I lost my horse. What the fuck do I do now? I've smoked cigarettes, I found some whiskey, I've like killed like four people and robbed them, and now I'm like wanted in every county. I can't progress forward because I keep going to jail. Or I'm just at the point where like I tried a war game and I'm like, I just don't even know what to do. Like I'm supposed to be stealthy and I just keep getting murked. I did get into Fortnite for a little bit. I thought that was pretty fun. Yeah. It's kind of like Call of Duty except for like it's like characters. Yeah, you just basically launch into a big map and it gets smaller every couple minutes and you got to be the last one to survive. But yeah, the peop yeah, it was a learning curve though for a while. But like with everything, and now I don't even play it. It was like a month and then I learned how to play it. Or yeah, I feel that. So that last I watched the film you shared, which was kind of like a horror psychological thriller. Um it's not released yet, so we don't have to talk about it, but is that the main genre that you like to act in now? Because like as a filmmaker, that's really what we have to rely on: good writing and simple cinematography because we're not going to be able to go get CGI and you know the concept has to be like around the characters, right? That scene in the living room with all the golden hour light coming through the blinds, was that lit from the outside or was that actual sunlight? Mm-hmm. Now that you say that, it was pretty evenly around, but it just was a beautiful effect. Nice work. Yeah. Do you rent the Ari or did someone own it? What's the worst camera you've ever filmed a project on? iPhone? Yeah, like you're like, oh, let's make this project. We're just gonna use this Canon. This is what we have. Man, is it well? Do you usually direct or produce? So you usually have a cinematographer operating camera, right? Yeah, I'm wondering what the learning curve is if you like rented a Ari Alexa and you got your lens and then you like turn it on and you're like, what's going on here? Yeah, that's a challenge, I'm sure. And it's like you can try to draw inspiration the night before, maybe watch like a Hitchcock film or something. The masters, you know. Let me ask you. So, let's say you're filming in a house and you're going to then go to let's say a drive-through fast food restaurant and you're going to come back to the house. You probably would film scene 1 and 3 back to back and then go shoot scene 2, right? Will you talk will will the actress be there while you're shooting your scene so you can go back and forth even though is just on you? Have you ever done any plays? So when what was the first piece you did to get your SAG card started? How does that work? It's a No, I'm just listening. These pretzels are making me thirsty. And community theater too, right? If you do community theater, you could get your SAG card started. No, well, I got a SAG card, but I only did Busch Gardens as a dancer, and I did Foothills Theater in Worcester. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's why I got it. Oh, okay. So I'm not crazy. All right. Yeah, I think that I remember that. I wasn't in the union, but if I had continued that career, I needed to get a certain amount of hours and then I was in. Well, I don't want to keep you longer. I think we did a good hour 20 right there. Yeah. I don't know what the hell we talked about, but cuz yeah, and it's a weird like there was a 3-day weekend. I'm foggy. I don't know about you. I'm like but that's I was like I don't want to miss this opportunity to catch up either. So I was like whenever you want, I'm down. Do you do Yeah, awesome catching up. I'm looking forward to seeing more work you got going. Always hit me up if you need an extra. If I got the bandwidth, I'd get on screen and you could kill me. You can do whatever you want with me. I have no boundaries, dude. In the film, not. Yeah, that would be cool. Or like we just do like a 1 hour film, like meet up, shoot a bunch of scenes in 1 hour, and then see what we can edit. Yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna be pretty. Yeah, like raw, like real. Raw. We'll get like someone with like a VHS recorder on their shoulder. Yes, and then we'll just transfer it to digital and chop it up. Yeah, I actually have a VCR right here. I like recently digitized an old VHS for someone, so I got the setup. Dude, VHS looks so bad. And we just leave it in coffee shops around Worcester. Ooh, with a QR code taped to it. And when they click the QR code, it goes to a paid site and they have to pay $50 for me to digitize it so they can watch it. Yeah, 50-50, dude. Ooh, we'll write snuff film on it too. Exclusive Worcester snuff film from 2004, Seclusion Behind Holy Name. Girls, you know. Oh man. Ooh, the QR code will actually track their IP address so that the date of the video will update to what year they graduated high school. Class of 2012 snuff film. Girls you might know. Girls you know. Yeah, not might know. Girls you know. Could be your sister, could be your wife. All right. Yeah, I have go to my YouTube and check out my Versace Yeezy Vans collab. It's just me dancing for 2 minutes and um keep sharing stuff with me. I love consuming stuff people I know make. Like yeah, maybe it's like a monthly check-in for 15 minutes. I do want to make an offshoot of the podcast because what's happened is I text people audio messages now, like people I've caught up with that I'm like in contact with, and I'm like, "Oh, I should just do an audio only podcast of all my podcast guests and the messages we share back and forth because it's always like funny little like hey, I got an idea, you know?" Yeah. And I want to get Louis Lou on a like 15-minute cuz he has a funny bit. He made his kids Polish kielbasa and pierogies. He's Spanish and his wife is Irish, and they wouldn't eat them, so he was calling them something like ravioli and hot dog. He was like, "Oh, I made my kids pierogies and kielbasa," but we told him it was ravioli and hot dogs, and they ate it. And then he came up with some like Polish Spanish name for it, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! This needs to be a 15-minute podcast by Louis Lou and Rich Marks." Why do kids do that? My kids do that. Like my wife will make them noodle soup. They won't even touch it, and it's noodle soup. It's not. It's like broth and noodles. And then a couple days later, I'll make them noodle soup, and they're like, can I have another bowl? And Cassie's like, what the hell? You know, I made the same thing for you. I was like, but you didn't make it like Dad. Yeah, it's like I'm always kind of like reverse psychology on these kids. Like I could get them to do what I need them to do sometimes. Today they were crazy. I'm talking crazy. Like I'm like, what are they on right now? And my wife's like, and I was like, don't even worry about it. I got them for the rest of the night. And I was like talking to them, like everything they were doing was the best. Oh, you guys are so calm. Why don't you do gymnastics? I'll put the mats out. They were like gymnastics fighting like crazy, running into walls. And like my daughter had a rough day yesterday. She like literally has scraped feet and like a busted toe because she was running barefoot on concrete twice, not one time, twice, and just like scraped her whole foot up. And today they're just like on a whole like hyper level. They were boxing with my wife's brothers, so they're like into fighting and doing gymnastics. And I'm like, yo, all right, I need to like reverse psychology them hard. And after like 20 minutes, they were starting to be like, what is wrong with Dad? What is he like? What is he talking about? We're acting crazy. So leave it up to me to be on such a high note to end the podcast and then end it with just like a rant that has no virality at whatsoever. Oh, and just me and you, 24 hours straight, but we're bringing in previous guests and new people, all the like, and then when they're like, oh, we gotta go, it's like 2 hours, bro, 2 hours, that's it. Coffee, wine, Do you are you a gummy guy? Do you smoke the ganj? I don't. I'm like I have. Yeah, I know. It's like I can't even eat a half a gummy. I'm like one. It like wakes me up, and I get too creative, and I forget that I'm like an adult. And then it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh man. But since I haven't in like 10 years plus, I was like, oh, should I do it on the podcast one day? I think so. But I'm like, sometimes I don't know what to say now because, it's pretty new for me. I'm just like, imagine I was just blank staring at the camera for 30 minutes. Maybe I want like six guests because that way, yeah, the panel. And I won't, and I'll tell everyone I did just so I could egg everybody on. And there's like a disclaimer that comes up like, warning, warning, Rich Marks did not eat his edible. Like, yeah. Conan had me, I love Conan. He had me cracking up the other day because he did a whole episode on why he's been treating the cannabis gummies that his coworkers gifted him as like a chore and he still hasn't taken them. He's like, yes, I haven't taken the gummies yet. He's like, why do I look at it as a chore? He's like, I got to put it on my schedule. And they're like, dude, just take one like in the afternoon. Don't make a big deal out of it. And he's like, I don't know why I'm making a big deal out of it. Like, he's so eccentric. But that's how I am too. Like, if I had gummies on my desk, I'd be like, I can't take these today. When am I supposed to eat these? What's the next movie you watching? Odyssey? I didn't even know there was a Mortal Kombat. I think I'll do that too. All right, we'll have to get back and do like a movie review of it. Well, let's sign off if that's cool. I'm much appreciated. Thank you for coming on. Um, I love what you're doing. Keep it up. Yep. And just keep your computer open for a couple minutes so the footage can get backed up. Cool. All right. Have a good rest of your week, man. All right. See ya.